the JLL Coaching Pod. Welcome back, episode 12. Let's get after it. Today we are talking about something I've been thinking about a lot recently, service. And this brings me to one of my all-time favorite TV shows, The Bear. And I'm talking about season 2. I think it's episode 9. It's called Forks. If you haven't seen The Bear, it is about a chef. And I love food. Let me tell you, I love food. It's about this chef who's worked in all the best restaurants, Nomad, 3 Michelin stars, ran these top kitchens across the world. But his brother had a small, steak sandwich shop in, I think it's Philadelphia. It's been a minute. No, Chicago. One of the two. Not Philadelphia. Whatever. One of those places. Probably another place entirely. We got this brother working in fine dining. Cream of the crop. Best food. High quality service. And then the other brother runs this beef sandwich shop, which their parents started. And the brother working there never let the fine dining brother work in this sandwich shop. He was like, no, you're not working here. You wish, mate. And the fine dining guy always wanted to work there, and he had to prove himself. He was the younger brother and whatnot. And the TV show starts with this brother who's working in the sandwich shop. He kills himself. And then and he leaves in his will the sandwich shop to the other brother. So the other brother stops working in fine dining and goes into this sandwich shop to take over, to start running things. And one of the guys who works there, they call him Cousin. And he's basically mid-40s. And this guy just is effectively a loser. He's worked at this sandwich shop his whole life. He's the manager there. He kind of runs the front of house. And he's a nightmare. He's divorced. He's got a kid. He sells drugs. He's a bit of chaos in the mix of this. And the show is chaos. It paints the picture of a small business trying to kind of make it in this culinary world, and the kitchen is just absolute chaos. It's mental, and that's the kind of point of the show at the start, to paint this picture of chaos and how they're struggling to kind of make it a successful restaurant and turn it around. And they try and turn it into a bit more kind of upmarket so they can make more money. They can survive effectively because it's in huge debt. And they do that throughout the first season. And then the second season comes and they're changing the restaurant. So it's no longer a sandwich shop. They've shut that and they're refurbishing. And in this episode 9, the cousin, who is just throughout the show, you're just cringing. You're like, oh, this guy, he keeps failing. It's so hard to see. And I think there's a part of me anyway, maybe a part of everyone, but it's that could be a possibility. I could get to mid-40s and never have made it. If you just hit failure after failure, make bad decisions, hit bad luck, your life just goes mental and you lose all the good parts. And that always pulls at the heartstrings for me. And on this episode 9, he basically goes and does a stage, an internship at one of the best restaurants in the town. And he's there, he starts with cleaning the forks, shining the forks. And he hates it, obviously, because he's doing it for 2 days. And then they let him do some other stuff. They let him start serving customers and things like that. And bear in mind, it's one of the best restaurants in the world, 3 Michelin stars. And what you see throughout this episode is how much effort and detail they put into every single aspect of the experience, the dining experience. From the cutlery that they choose, the tablecloths, the layout of the restaurant, how they greet the guests, the information they gather about the guests before they start, all of that. How much detail there is. And the cousin, he starts to pick up on these details and he sees it, and he sees the buy-in from the people who work there. They are so in love with what they do, and they're there the whole time. They're there 16, 18 hours a day. So they have to absolutely graft and love it because it's just their life. They're there to serve the customers. This is where I'm getting to. So this guy, there's a scene. He's driving in the car. I never cry, but I cried. I also shat myself. It was a rough day. It was a rough day. Me crying there. Literally, I cried. And then I shat myself, same couple of minutes. There's a scene where he calls his daughter, and I think he's bought tickets for them to go see Taylor Swift, T-Dog, as I call her, and then she can't come or something. And he's in the car, he's driving, listening to Taylor Swift, and he's crying, and it's kind of rock bottom for him. Because he's doing an internship in his mid-40s, and he's like, what am I doing here? He thinks he knows what he's doing, he thinks he knows where he's going in life, but really he's failing. And that's the rock bottom. But when we get to rock bottom, we have to crawl out. And he crawls out, and he starts to see the point of this fine dining thing. He starts to take responsibility of who he is and where he's going in life. And he effectively, there's a family there, and they come to the restaurant, and it is Chicago, the restaurant. I've just remembered why. And they've come to visit the restaurant. They've been in Chicago a few days, but they've never had the deep dish pizza. And this restaurant obviously doesn't serve deep dish pizza, but because they're trying to get that high level of service and the customer is everything, their cousin gets to run out and buy a deep dish pizza, bring it back, and they serve it in a fancier way to the team and to the customers. And it's just like, wow, the service is ridiculous. Everything is absolutely phenomenal, absolutely dialed. And he starts to see okay, so it's all about the customer. We want to make their experience amazing. That is my responsibility, to serve and to overachieve, kind of exemplify what we do and give them the best possible experience. Now, since then, I've been thinking about this with my clients, the service aspect, because it is a service personal training. And you want it to be the best experience for your clients every single time. And there's so many aspects of this and why this is important. But that story gets me going. So effectively he turns around and he starts creating a great service for the restaurant that they're creating, and he takes over, he takes on more responsibilities, and he's on the upswing. So he's gone through rock bottom and he's calling out. Great TV show. But the point is, which we're going to get into now, is service. Now, a lot of personal trainers, if they care, will dive into learning about training, biomechanics, physiology, how the body works, how the body moves, and have that to a decent level, hopefully. And that enables you to get good results if you can apply that understanding. Other personal trainers might honestly just be exceptional at sales. You get enough opportunities, you're in front of enough people, you're good enough at sales that people will sign up and work with you. They like you, but they leave. Your retention may suck. Your actual work-life balance may suck because you can't build a good schedule. I'll speak about where I work. And I think there's enough opportunities where I work where you can be as busy as you want as a personal trainer. You just have to spend the time doing it. So if you're there from 6 a.m. till 8 or 9 at night, you can do as many sessions as you want. There's just enough opportunities there with regards to people who want personal training. But if you're a PT and you want to sculpt a different life, if you just want to work a 9 to 5, that's something different. So a lot of PTs will have a big gap in their day. And I think to stay as a personal trainer for longer term, you need to figure a way to find a balance so you can have a life outside of your work. It could even just be time for yourself or to improve your career in another aspect. But you need a bit more balance than being at the gym 16 hours a day. Or it's not 16, but it can be 16. Absolutely can be 16, but it's more likely 12, 14. And for me to do that, it's all about finding clients that can train when you want to train them, have a bit more flexibility, and keeping them. So retention of good clients is absolutely everything. And for me, retention comes down to two things. Results that you get them, they have to have results. Like if they're not moving in the direction they want to move physically, that's the problem you're trying to solve really for your clients is, I don't like the way the body is for XYZ reason. Could be performance, aesthetically, whatever. And I want to move that. I want to feel like I'm moving that. And the second one is relationships. And this comes, both of those things come into the service. Service is everything. If you're having a bad time, that stays out of a session. If you're having issues at home, that doesn't come into the session. You got to show up, bring the energy, and the hour that they've got with you one-on-one is 100% about them and helping them get towards where they want to go and providing the highest service there. Just like fundamental things that I feel like the standards in the PT industry are so low that are missed. It's just like conscientiousness. Are you on time? Do you not smell bad? Do you look all right? Like, have you had a haircut? I'm guilty of that. I need more haircuts. Note to self. Have they got programming to do their own training outside of it? Are they actually getting good results? Is it measurable? And then if you want to go the extra mile, so like Cousin, he ran out of the restaurant, bought a Chicago deep dish pizza and served that to the clients. That is the extra mile. What that looks like is, does a client once in a while get a protein bar post-session? Not expensive, huge for morale. It's £2 and they'll probably train with you a bit longer because of that. That's how you kind of improve these relationships, just those little touches. The thing for me is like, you got to have fun with the training. You got to have fun together. It can be serious. You got to get good outcomes and good results. But if you're not having fun, do you even want to be there? And that comes from being authentic. You want it to be as much as possible a good, fun relationship. If you have examples of that in your life, just like apply it. It's effectively mates training together, having a good time and getting good results. It's the funnest thing ever. Like I've struck a really nice balance with most of my clients at the moment, and we are just like, we're flying. It's awesome. So going these extra miles and being there for them. If they've got shit going on, if they need an ear, give them your ear. Listen to what's happening in their life, but don't lose focus of what they're there for. So you need to find that nice balance of everything all good. You seem a bit tired today. What's going on? Just a bit stressed from work. All right. Okay. Well, let's put that into the session. Let's get after it. Sorry for interrupting the pod. I'm just here to advertise the programs. A couple programs in the link in the bio, in the link tree. Hypertrophy program if you want to get jacked out of your nut. And the fundamentals program if you're a bit bored of your training, you want to mix it up, you're fed up of just lifting weights in the gym and you want to come a little bit more athletic. Dive into the link tree and get involved now. All right, back to it. Did get the camera just died effectively. The card died, ran out of space. Amateur mistake. Got to do better. So, be there for the clients, and if they're having a bad time, 100% being here to listen, but still, results are important. You got to put that energy into something positive. So if they've got hard things outside of the sessions and what else is going on in their life, make this their kind of the thing that they love and look forward to and get good things out of. That is huge. Like, do you have something like that in your life? That's the best thing ever. For me, it's probably, some of my own training sessions when it's going well. It is an absolute awesome time. Like at the moment, training is just like pure fun. I'm loving what I can do with the body, feeling super fit and strong across the board, which is just like morale is exceptionally high. And that is what you can provide for people. a lot of people don't use their body. They've never really trained. They've never really done sport. You can provide the experience that we all love as PTs, at least at some point, where we get stronger and that feels awesome. We get fitter and that feels awesome. These quantifiable things that just get better and better and better, you can provide that for people. And it's just so huge when you've got shit going on outside in other parts of your life. So this is what I'm talking about, with the quality of service that you can provide for clients. Remembering key details, their partner's name, kids, things they enjoy, what they did in the weekend, bringing good positive energy, having a laugh, having a good time, and getting good results. All of these things are so important. And you've got to be able to say, like, oh, yeah, sorry, I don't know X, Y, and Z. It helps build trust, and you don't know X, Y, and Z. Why it's sometimes good to be like, yep, go see the physio. Even if they get terrible physio feedback, don't say that. It's just like, all right, cool. We can take that into consideration with the training. You don't have to talk shit about other professionals to them. You can talk about that with colleagues, but it's a positive experience, and that's pretty important. Manage expectations, of course. Be a good human, effectively. But yeah, going the extra mile, get programming sorted, and then if you want to stand out, like, get nutrition stuff absolutely dialed. Have a good understanding of these extra things that really aren't in your contract of service, but will help with things like results. Because nutrition is very, very important with clients to get good outcomes, particularly if it's like aesthetics. And that's obviously, I've just gone over that in the last couple episodes, so you can dive in there a little bit. And the other thing is helping people find meaning in the training. Why are you doing it? Because for a lot of people, it won't start out about being about the training. The training serves a purpose of something else, but it can become something more meaningful than that. Just like with Cousin, and he's literally searching for meaning. That's why he was in a dark pit. He was at the bottom. He hit rock bottom because he didn't have any meaning in his life. And then he found the meaning in serving others, creating great experiences. You have to search for meaning. Man's Search for Meaning, great book. It's about the psychiatrist who was imprisoned in a Nazi camp, and he tells the story of how prisoners kind of kept morale up and survived. And it was all about, and the story I remember that stood out for me is the hardest part of these camps was when you didn't have anything to do, and the sick people who were guards there would set things up like, all right, this is brutal, but they would make you carry a rock across the camp and then carry it back. And that was what you had to do repeatedly. And just the thought that there's no meaning there's no purpose, I'm just doing this for what reason? That was one of the hardest things that was described, and it just like doing something for nothing. And the people who kind of, they were not okay, but they got through the experience, is they found meaning. They searched for meaning, and that's what's his name, Viktor Frankl or something like that, found at the end of it. And that's what his applications were for his clients moving forward, is you got to find meaning in what you do. And it's the same thing with training. You've got to help your clients find meaning with each session, with the process, with the journey of improving the physical qualities, making training hard, and giving it a nice, good reference point of something that they can consistently improve at, get quantifiable results. And it's just, it's an awesome feeling to find meaning in something. It gives you something to attach onto. Great for the mental health. pursue meaning. Help your clients pursue meaning with the training. Make it meaningful for them. You want to move good when you're older. You want to move good now. You want to look good now. Do you want to feel fit and capable? Those are all awesome things, and these are subtle hints and improvements along the way. Service. That's what this pod was on. I hope you got some value out of it. I could honestly go on. I love this topic, and serving my clients, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. And like, even just things like hosting dinner for friends. I love serving people good food, drinks, whatever, making it a good time, a good experience. I found so much meaning in that now. Like, it's brilliant. Like, this is my opinion at the moment with service as part of the personal training journey. And there are probably so many other different ways or lenses to look through this. But the kind of moral is, and I got this from David Gray, he finds things in movies, books, TV shows, and applies them to his career in like rogue ways. So he was talking about the new film about nukes. It is called Oppenheimer. And he's like, yeah, it's great that they paid attention to the secondary and tertiary outcomes of the science here, because obviously with nuclear weapons, the outcomes are very, very big. And he applied that to like rehab and strength and conditioning, getting back to sport. And it's true, like, what are the secondary outcomes of what you say to your client? If you're like, yeah, no, I didn't sleep well, I'm not having a good day at the start of the session, what is the impact that's going to have on them? They might be like, oh, I guess we're not having a good session then. Or if you're not having a good time, like if you're not having fun together, the secondary outcome is, oh, we're not having a good time, what are we doing? Like, I'm not really enjoying this. The tertiary outcome, the next level is like, all right, we're stopping this because I'm not having a good time. The chat's dead, the training's dead, and it's not good. So look for these things that you think, that you see in movies, TVs, whatever. It just in chatting with friends, whatever, life, and steal little tidbits that you can apply to your service, to your business. And I think it just levels you up. Like David Gray's doing bits out here, and that it's just such an interesting way to think, applying these things to your own work. All right, rambled on. I enjoyed this. I hope you did too. Any questions, slide in the DMs. Hope you have a good day. Goodbye. Au revoir.